Welcome to the Comix Zone. Welcome to the Comix Zone.
What's going on, nerds? Another episode of the Comix Zone. We got Bill over there.
What's going on?
DJ Nike in the building.
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Aaron Lohman.
What's up, world?
Today we're going to talk about, what is it, the DCEU.
Turning into
Now
the
turning-
DCU, yeah.
Right.
So a lot of alphabet soup here. And the new Aquaman movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Spoilers. Yes, there will be spoilers. Not yet, but it's pretty
They're
darn
coming.
soon.
Yeah.
And I'm going to spoil it right now, saying there wasn't that much to spoil.
That's true.
That's
You're
my
not wrong.
opinion. I'm just, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it was, overly long in my opinion. So was the first one, though. And it just, I mean,
didn't think the first one was. Well, I mean, it was, but I think the
There's-
first one moved a little
pretty
bit
damn-
faster.
they're pretty damn long.
They are, but like I said, I think the first one moved faster. Like it moved the story along faster. That's my one complaint, like major complaint with this one is there was a
Yeah,
lot
they
of
coulda told-
unnecessary.
They could have told the whole damn story in about an hour or less time. But, like, I fell asleep at one point
I did too.
just because I was like, all right, we're not, like, getting anywhere. I felt kind of the same way about the new Avatar when that came out.
Same.
I like
It's
that one.
just
though.
like, how many times are these kids going to get kidnapped?
You're right.
It was like
in
4.
every movie.
No, I'm saying
That
just that movie.
Oh
like,
yeah.
His kids got taken like 4 fucking times.
Well, that's
It's
because
like, fuck's sake.
that's what happens when you let your kids run around and not pay attention to them.
All right, well, learn from them being little shitheads the first 2 times and stop letting them run the fuck off. Like,
At least he let them have weapons.
yeah, right.
that's not necessarily a better thing. You know what I mean? But yeah, I fell asleep on it too. And I was only out like for 30 seconds here or there, and part of that was I was also tired. Like I don't sleep like a human. But
I fell asleep for probably 15, 20 minutes,
oh,
and
shit,
I
went
don't
out that
feel
long.
I don't feel like I missed anything. Like I woke up and I still knew where we were at. Like
I enjoyed it a little bit. I mean, it's not my favorite DC movie by far.
No, it wasn't horrible. It was somewhat entertaining, but it wasn't. I'm glad if it's over, that it's over, and
Well, I'm hoping some of these solo movies at least turn into a a JSL movie for us,
JSL.
or not?
Justice League.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's the end of the. That's the end of the.
It's the end of those.
Yeah, that's the end of the Snyderverse. There's no more.
Well, we don't have. We don't use the Snyderverse, but we could still use those characters. They're not.
Yeah, but
owned by
everybody's
him.
out. Everybody's out. Nobody's
Well,
under contract.
Well,
we don't-
nobody, we don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know.
And that's
we're
yeah.
hoping.
Yeah.
And if the last Aquaman doesn't say that much, I felt like it was, it was entertaining. There was some good fight scenes, but there was nothing special about it. There was nothing like the acting. All just felt like people were there just to kind of do their own thing. I described it like a lame duck, which is like when a politician is in office and they can't get reelected. So they just can kind of coast through their last year or do whatever the heck they want. And I felt like that's what this movie was.
I
and
would
then-
say there
and
were
then-
some standout performances. I thought like it was nice to see the what do they call it? The redemption story arc of his brother. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was actually my favorite part of the whole thing, was their dynamic. But other than that, the villain wasn't that overly
Now,
great.
see, I like Oh Boy as Black Manta, and I like that he got a power up because he got murked in the first film. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he got
Um,
marked in the second one too. Once
he
they
did.
realized what was going on.
Yeah, but I just think there was a whole lot going on. You know what I mean? And the main thing I'll take away, because I still liked it. If we're gonna grade, I guess we should do that probably first. As far as the grade, I'm gonna give that one a 7. You know what I mean? I still liked it, but not that much. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
See, and I gave it a 7.5. It was good, but that I have a lot of critiques with it. I was never a huge fan of Aquaman to begin with. I mean, he talks to fish.
I got my big Aquaman boost like when they were making fun of him a lot in the 90s, and that's when they started. That's kind of when he got the power up. Like, okay, if he's gonna live in Atlantis, of course he'd be super strong and super durable for living that low. You know what I mean? What do they call that shit when you're underwater? Pressure, yeah. So that would make him stronger. That would make him more durable. And they started going less away from the talking to fish, and they started making it like more
like a
intelligent.
sonar.
Like, yeah, because it was like you can't talk to fish. They're their brains aren't big enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you can like basically tell them what to do. Like
Yeah.
you can't have a conversation with a fish because they're stupid. You can have one with a dolphin. You know what I mean? But
Flipper.
but you can't have one with a fish. Their brains like this big. So like they started doing things like that to make the character better, and I was all for it. Especially like when they did the whole thing where Aquaman was married to Wonder Woman, and then they both.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, then they both ended up fucking. They started that big old war. You know what I mean? And that was one of the best storylines that came out of DC in the early 2000s. So, but that's what made me an Aquaman fan, because he was always the cheesiest, sorriest, weakest power in the entire DC.
They did macho him up quite a bit.
Well, and I think they had to kind of do that because of like what Marvel had done with Namor. He was Atlantean. Yes, he was also a mutant, but the fact that he was Atlantean, he had some of those powers already from being underwater. I think they kind of had to match that because, their underwater superhero was kind of lame.
Yeah, 100%. What'd you give it for a score there, Bill?
I'm gonna go with a 6.
Okay.
So I think there's just a lot of filler and not much. Like, even could it stand alone? No. Would it, if it didn't have the big names that it did,
Which it did,
and the backing,
yeah,
it would have not seen the big screen.
probably not.
I think the fact that they just had so much money in it that they had to push it out. And, I would say it's something that'd be worth waiting till it was streaming. And you don't have to pay anything additional to watch it.
I'd agree with that.
That's a good assumption. Yeah.
I mean, if you like superhero movies, and if you miss it, you're probably not missing much. It's harsh.
You're
but I
missing a lot of
enjoyed it.
Jason Momoa trying his damnedest to be funny, and I don't see it.
And the ladies are going to be disappointed. I know. I said this to Beth because he was wearing a shirt most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, if that's all you got going for you,
but because
because he tries so fucking hard to be like a Chris Hemsworth, and
but the first movie
Yo,
made
see,
so
it
much
it
movie.
doesn't stick.
We're gonna.
But
I'm
what
gonna
made
argue
the
that
first
one.
movie so much more money? The first movie made a lot of money, was a huge box office
Right.
success. Probably, I think their biggest one.
Other than Wonder Woman, yeah.
So just as far as money is what it made, I believe that's what it said. So why the drastic just turd?
I don't know. Like
Unintended.
right? Maybe they, you know what I mean? They got a lot of money thrown at them, and then once the turnaround started happening at DC, you know what I mean? Because that's what it felt like to me. It was like, all right, we had very big hopes, we had big budgets, and then the story fell through, and nobody seemed to care because we're going to start over anyway. That's the way it felt to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I could be wrong, but that's what it felt like to me. Mike, what are you giving it?
I don't know, 5 or 6. It wasn't. It's forgettable to me. So I mean, I think that's being pretty generous.
All right.
What were you saying? You were.
I disagreed with the. I understand why you compared it to Chris Hemsworth, but when you think about the first 2 Thor movies, he wasn't funny at all. It
Well,
wasn't.
no, I get that.
But that's what I'm saying. It wasn't until Taika Waititi took over. Hopefully, I said his name right. That he became funny, and he was good at it. But I also think
But
that had to do with the
I'm
writing.
just saying you're like splitting hairs right now.
I don't think so. Like
because it has nothing to do with the older movies.
All right,
I'm
well,
just
all right.
saying, like, I'm comparing it to the current
but that's what I'm saying. You
Chris
like,
Hemsworth shit.
if
Like,
you want, it's exactly the same to me. You know what I mean? If you look at the first Aquaman compared to this one, all right, there was a big focus on the comedy aspect that wasn't there in the first one. The first 2 Thor movies did not have the comedy aspect.
They
especially-
had some.
Not from Thor.
Yeah.
Not much.
Yeah.
No, he's
Yeah, the shit where he kept getting tased in the first one.
but even he said that was one of the things he really liked about Ragnarok was that he got a chance to show that side of him that he really didn't. Yes, there were the jokes here or there, but it wasn't the same. And I think a lot of that had to do with the writing. Tiki, how the fuck do you say
It's
his name?
Tiki Wakiti, I
Thank you.
believe.
I think he just wrote it better. But I do understand why you say that because it does give you off those vibes. But I'm not going to blame that on Jason Momoa either. I'm still putting it with the writers because I think the storyline is what was lacking the most.
Well,
Not
with the
so much
strike,
the acting. You know what I mean?
and I don't think that writer's strike helped.
Oh, I forgot
out at
about
all.
that. I forgot about the writer's strike.
Yeah, and I think that kind of had a little bit to do with the whole story arc of it because they had it half written, then they
Yep.
get the strike, then they are back, and so they oh hey, we got deadlines, we just got to pump something out, and they
That's kind of like what Bill was saying about, they had less of a budget for like, what were you saying for like CGI and all the extra shit.
Yeah.
So you're like, we can throw more comedy in there. We know that works.
Right.
Like because of Guardians and all that shit. And that's not to say that I think Chris Hemsworth is genuinely funny though. I don't think Jason Momoa is.
But see, I'm a Jason Momoa fan, so I've seen him in other things than just Game of Thrones and Aquaman, and I think he's very funny. Matter of fact, I think he carried the entire last Fast and Furious movie. Like, if it wasn't for him, that one would have been like. And considering all the big,
they all are kind of like.
Well, that's neither. Like, I think the same thing about fucking Harry Potter, but I know everybody doesn't think that. That's why there's different genres. Everybody likes different things. That being said, I have seen him in other things, and I think Jason Momoa is very funny as a person. Even you know what I mean. But that film will just go. It's lacking.
yeah.
As a whole, the film's lacking.
Oh yeah.
There's one thing that I will say kind of pissed me off, and this pissed me off because of what's going on with what has happened to Jonathan Majors.
Me too. I know exactly what you're gonna say.
Yeah, they said that what's her bucket, fucking
Amber Heard.
and she's pretty to look at. Let's get that out of the way. Just because she's pretty to look at, they said that they had cut down her part considerably, and she was in that entire fucking movie.
I guess she only had like 11 minutes of screen
She was
time, and then
barely,
only
though. She was
only had
She was in it more than I was expecting.
she only had a handful of like full lines, and like I think something like 11 minutes in that entire movie. So she wasn't in the entire thing.
She was in it more than I was
They
expecting.
definitely cut
More
down.
than I thought. She was
Well,
gonna
she shouldn't have been in it at all. If that's how
Agreed.
we're doing shit,
Exactly.
if that's how we're doing shit. As soon as Jonathan Majors gets the guilty
But
verdict,
that's how they do it
we're
in DC.
firing him. We're
That's how they
firing
do
him.
it in DC.
Okay.
They already paid, just like Ezra Miller.
Yes,
exactly.
Thank you for taking
He,
it there.
he already paid them to do the role, so I think that's really where it came down to. Where Jonathan Majors or some of the others, he was already paid to do Loki
and
Ant-Man,
right.
which came out kind of in the middle. I think Loki. Anyways, so then they had a chance to kind of end the contract.
Right.
Whereas with
Amber Heard,
Amber
and Ezra
Heard,
Miller.
and they were already filming,
You got a good point. You're right.
or at least they'd filmed enough that she had to be paid. I think if they could have got out of it,
right.
they would have. But then I think they also probably didn't because they didn't want to feel like, blame the victim either. So they could then walk away.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, this movie sucks anyways.
You're right. Yeah.
Who the fuck cares?
I mean, the Flash was definitely.
I don't want to hate on it that much. It
Yeah, I
wasn't
wouldn't say
that
suck,
bad.
yeah.
But
It was too long. Some story issues. But I didn't, like I said, I didn't think the acting was bad at all.
No.
But there, you know what I'm saying?
I did think the dynamic between him and his brother was great.
that was good. I think this brother was I think he
He
was,
was one of the better
best
parts.
actor.
Yeah.
Best acting in there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, one of my favorite scenes through it was when they went into that little gangster area, like where
The Star Wars bar.
type thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking
For real.
Yeah.
It was just like the cantina.
Yeah, they seem to be doing that a lot in you know what I mean?
Or even in the prequels when they go into Jabba's palace and they got the fucking that chick in there, in the
Oh yeah.
mhm.
Oh,
in the Reeve,
she's got a name too, and I can't think of it.
where she's singing in the chick with the long like lips and shit.
They did it in Solo as well.
I don't remember
Yeah.
that.
It was a bar. I actually
Yeah,
liked
but that was like a
song.
more humanoid type chick. I was talking
Yeah.
about the little alien chick
Oh,
with like the eye stalks and the super long lips, you know. And
I
then
know
it
what you're
had.
talking about.
You
I
know what I'm
don't. All I can think of is myself.
That, but it's from like the
Return of the Jedi
Was it?
original, but then that alien is on another few.
I'll have to
right,
go
but
back
they
and
added
watch
that in after they did like the
The
re-
the
remaster.
remasters and shit. You know how they added
Yeah.
scenes.
a lot
Well,
of
she was
shit.
in the first original of Jedi, but then there's a lot more of her.
The part
added
where
in.
she's singing and doing like the duet with the other guy. It's
that
like
stuff, but there was at least a good 15 seconds of it in the original,
Mm.
or the whole scene was probably like 15 seconds,
Right.
But she was so maybe 3 or what? But
I'll have to go back and look that one up.
if I'm thinking of the same character,
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Oh,
I think
really
you know,
bird legs round with a
she looked like a frog.
squished nose.
Yeah.
Mouth.
No,
Lips
it was.
came out.
I think we're thinking of it. Yeah, I'm talking.
Yeah.
And then she's singing with the little hairy guy.
yeah. She had a
he's
very
all,
small
"Ah."
glimpse there in the very originals.
Yeah, they're poking way
'Cause
out. And they're all.
I had that character, that toy.
Yeah, and she's actually got a name, and I can't even remember her name.
Damn.
But
Anyways,
with the DCU or
DC.
DCEU, whatever it is currently, I have to say so far my 2 favorite films that they've put out are, I hate to say this, The Flash, because I'm not a big Ezra Miller fan. It was more the Michael Keaton that made that movie for me.
Right.
And then Blue Beetle. I thought that was a phenomenal movie. I think it should have got a little bit more love in the box office, like a few other movies that,
Yeah.
so let's real quick go a quick rundown of the DCEU. Started with Man of Steel, Batman versus Superman, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, Justice League, first Aquaman, Shazam, Birds of Prey, Harley Quinn, Wonder Woman 1984.
Fuck, I forgot about Birds of Prey, and that was actually a fairly decent flick.
I watched it again. It was better the
Justice
second
League,
time.
Justice
Snyder Cut.
Snyder Cut, Suicide Squad, Black Adam, Shazam, Gods of Fury, The Flash, Blue Beetle,
Where does Peacemaker
Aquaman,
fit into this?
The Lost Kingdom. These
TV
are just
show.
the
It still
movies.
fits.
Is it? But I heard they're still gonna continue on with that.
Probably. Well,
Is
like
that part of the DCEU?
it is, but we don't know 100% what's going to
Is
cross
that something
over or
that'll
not.
fold in?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, 'cause
this
that-
is just looking at the movies.
Yeah.
Okay.
So because
okay.
that's really the only TV show that's going to could be either way connected, right? Is there anything am I missing any?
no, I think that's the only current, other
Like-
than maybe Titans, but
No, they don't cross over.
And it does it even really cross over?
Peacemaker does because they
Yes.
talk about
Yeah, I mean
Suicide
they,
Squad shit.
and plus he was in some of the movies. He was in Suicide Squad.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah, because
Gotcha,
James
gotcha.
Gunn did Peacemaker, and he was in the James Gunn
in
Suicide
Suicide
Squad.
Squad.
Which,
yeah.
by the way, that James Gunn Suicide Squad, fucking fantastic.
All right, I want to bring
And-
something up. Now was that the last film?
Yes.
All right. One of the problems, the major problems I will say with the DCEU overall, this is overall, because when you were going over those movies, I remember seeing most of them at the box office. And the only ones that I liked in the box office were Wonder Woman and Aquaman, Flash, and Blue Beetle. Like, you know what I'm saying? Shazam wasn't bad. You know what I mean? That was more for the kids, but it wasn't bad. But when they came out on video, they all had a director's cut. And I'm not talking about the Justice League Snyder cut because that's almost a different movie. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, a completely different movie.
but Batman versus Superman, there's like an extra 45 minutes that makes that movie so much better than the one that was at the theaters. Same way with the first Suicide Squad, an extra 45 minutes, like whatever they
The
did.
original Suicide
Yeah.
Squad or the new one?
The original. So there were a lot of those first, like early on DCEU films that I think suffered more from the cutting table than the actual storylines themselves. Because like I've said that, and I've either loaned them to people or they went and they watched it. They were like, "Holy shit, it's a completely different movie." You know what I mean? Because there's shit that they cut out they shouldn't have cut out. Like
I brought this up before. I mean, it's the same way with that Ben Affleck Daredevil movie. It's like you watch the director's cut of that, and it's so much better. Like I wouldn't say it's the greatest movie ever, but it definitely is way better than the theatrical.
I
one.
liked the original theatrical release of Daredevil. I mean, it could have been better. I think I was, I enjoyed it. I think I
The-
like the villains more in that one than I did actually watching.
Well, yeah, he
Him as Daredevil.
who was that? Colin Farrell.
Yes, Colin Farrell.
He was
Bullseye.
Bullseye, and yeah, he was great.
Yeah, I thought they did.
He was probably the
him
best
spot
part.
on.
He was probably the best part of that movie.
That was actually the first time I'd heard his actual voice. Like I
Yeah.
didn't know he was from that. You know what I mean? Because he's always used an American accent.
Mm.
That was my first time hearing his actual voice, and that totally
That's
fucked me
awesome.
up too. I will not lie about that. Fucked me up.
Yeah, he was great, but he's always kind of great in everything. He's
Yeah, I've never seen.
I
Colin
thought he
Farrell
was
play
great as the
that.
Penguin in the Batman.
I thought so too.
you
First
almost
of all,
can't even fucking tell.
Yeah,
it,
you
too.
can't even tell
Yeah,
it's him.
I didn't know it was. If I wouldn't have actually known that it was him playing,
Mhm.
I would have never guessed it.
I
Was
think
him.
I think it would have been a better movie if they would have just stuck to the Penguin.
Well, he's
shit.
going to get his own show.
Well, that's great, but I'm saying
So we're going to get him. We're going to get more.
no.
of
That's good because the Riddler was
You've said that a million times.
fucking gay.
I
Fucking
mean,
that. I didn't
He
mind
hated
it.
I
he
didn't mind
wasn't
it.
hate it.
bad.
I can see why you didn't like it, but I didn't hate.
I didn't mind
bother
it either.
me.
Me either.
I actually thought it was a really good movie.
it's
I liked it.
pretty good. I mean,
Because you got to also take
I don't
into
know.
consideration, as a Batman fan, this is year one of him being Batman.
it
So
was
yeah,
year
or
two.
year two. Still, you haven't became the bone breaking vigilante that you are 30 years from now. You're still getting your ass kicked. You're still trying to figure out your costume, to figure out what's going to keep you from getting stabbed. All of that. You're not going to be the world's greatest detective yet. You're still learning. So it really honed in on those aspects.
I think maybe that was where he shined was actually is in the detective department. Other than, but I did like things about it, like how, in a fight he would take a punch. Like
Five. I
you're
love
not you're
that,
not
yeah.
used to Batman getting beat up a little
Yeah.
bit,
Yeah,
especially by street thugs,
exactly.
Yeah.
and he's struggling in these fights, still
Mhm.
winning, but he's still getting beat up,
Yeah,
and I liked that.
I love that actually.
I thought it was actually pretty good point of that as well, because you're seeing him still up and coming, not that stealthy bat that he is, where he can just
Yeah, he
blow
just
through 50 henchmen and maybe get hit once.
We did see a little bit of that in the progression of the Christian Bale movies, but I think
he taking damage a little bit.
in the beginning ones, he was definitely refining the process. But I think this one really drew good attention to it as the young, naive Batman.
It was
Yeah.
part of the story.
Yeah, it was definitely
Like
part of
him
the story.
taking damage was part of them building.
Well-
Like it was everything that was there. Like I agree, it's a good movie. I guess I just didn't like who they picked to play the Riddler, and I also didn't like the costume. I don't hate that they had.
You
the
didn't
Riddler.
like the gimp suit.
It was fucking. Yeah, I did not like that.
It had to be said.
But see, I actually didn't mind it because when you think about some of the things that they did for the Dark Knight trilogy, that was mad different than what I'm saying, what you're used to seeing in the comic book. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was a completely different version of the Joker. Which I also want to mention. I actually liked what's his bucket Morbius that played Joker in the
I liked him too. I don't see why he gets so much hate.
You know why?
Jared Leto?
Because he
It's
looked
just
like
him.
Well, all right, but he's a pretty boy. But I think he looked like what the Joker would look like now. You know what I mean? He looked like a 30-year-old.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He
I
looked
think
like
you're right. I think it is just Jared Leto. People like see him in there, and something about him.
It's like the hackle.
People are just like, ugh.
but it's
Fuck that
mostly
guy.
men, right? You know what I'm saying?
Well, and
No, yeah, it's true. I liked him as the Joker.
I did too.
and
I think he really
I
fit
felt
this
like-
decade.
and I felt like if he would have had more of a chance in more movies
Mm-hmm.
to even perfect that role even more,
Mhm.
he would have maybe been one of the best Jokers ever.
well, and
But
that's what I liked about
like,
the
but
Snyder Cut.
that's the problem with the DC bullshit anyway. I mean, anytime anything goes wrong, they just abandon ship,
Yep.
and they don't
Thank you.
fucking like. Nope, just trust
Start
us
over.
Trust us on this. No, yeah, it's like, oh, fuck that. Start over. It's fucking that shit is what turns me off about DC and
as a whole. In the 30 years that I'd say 35 years that I've been a hardcore comic book fan, that has been my biggest problem with DC. Every fucking 10 to 15 years, start over.
yeah, they just show that they don't have any faith in anything. They're just like money, 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 money. And I get it's about money. But also, if everybody would have just judged like Chris. Maybe this is a bad example because they didn't.
I want to
That
see
was
where
a
you're going with that.
that
Where
was
you
a
going
good.
with-
That was a good movie. Chris Evans is
Right.
Captain America,
Right.
and it's like nobody took that seriously until the movie came out. But I guess it's not the right analogy because
You know what? I actually think
I guess
that's a
you
good
see
one.
what I'm kind of
Yeah,
saying.
because like what I said about the director's cut, if you see the director's cut of the first Suicide Squad, there's the majority of that extra stuff they cut out is a
With
lot.
him?
It's him and not just him and Harley. It's a lot of the shit with him that built up his character and seeing the way it was and you know
And like okay, in that aspect, I feel like they abandoned ship on him
Mhm.
before the movie ever came out. They saw the negative response and went, "Ooh, let's fucking. We don't want to show too much of him. Let's take him mostly out of the movie."
And that's
instead
where I
of
say-
instead of just
Mhm.
sticking to their guns, like they did with Chris Evans. They're just like, trust me on this, it'll be fine. You know what I mean? And stick to it and stick by your fucking actor and the character you're trying to create.
Yep. Agreed.
Like they put so much work into designing that. I don't think he looked like shit.
I thought that was dope.
I thought he looked dope as fuck.
Matter of fact,
Which,
yo,
which
that
character are we
actually-
talking about?
Joker.
Jared Leto's
Oh,
Joker.
Okay.
Matter of fact, you know, the main reason I even wanted to see that Suicide Squad was that scene they showed with him when he had Harley on the table. And she's like, "Are you going to hurt me, Mr. J?" And he was like, "Oh, no, I'm not. Are you going to kill me?" He was like, "No, I'm not going to kill you. I'm just going to hurt you really, really." That,
right.
that was such
Yeah,
good
he
acting.
felt like the Joker.
Yeah. I
To-
love
to
that
me.
scene. Fuck.
So I don't know why he gets all
Well-
that hate, but maybe it is just Jared Leto and people just for
Pretty
whatever-
boy, and you're not that pretty. You know what I'm
I
saying?
think people didn't like the aesthetic, just like the tattoos, the gold teeth, the kind
Yeah,
of the,
that too.
I can actually answer why he had the gold teeth. So in the comics, I believe it was after he had killed Jason Todd,
Mhm.
Bats went nuts on him and beat the living tar out of him, knocked
Right.
out his front teeth, and damn near killed him.
Wasn't that a
um,
part of the whole thing? Didn't they show?
Yeah,
Didn't they show
Batman beating him up.
the suit and
I don't-
whatever?
I don't-
No. I mean, in
I
with
think they
Jared
did-
Leto's Joker.
I think they did in the director's cut, but I don't think they
Did-
had that in the theatrical release.
I thought they.
They mentioned that he killed. Like, see, there was so much little shit like that they took out. Like that wasn't even in Suicide Squad. That was in Batman versus
Oh.
Superman. But they did take that. Like that was one of the reasons. You know what I mean? Was that he had already killed a Robin? They didn't say which one it was,
Mhm.
but
But we all
But
know
we
it was
all
Jason
you
Todd.
got to know which one it was.
Mhm.
The only one that the Joker ever killed.
yeah.
The
And
only one that gets put into a Lazarus pit.
yeah. Then he turns into a bad
Robin
motherfucker.
laid an egg.
Dude, he turns into a fucking straight badass.
Fucking
Oh, he
yeah.
does.
Yo, Jason Todd is my favorite.
He-
fucking,
Well,
He
Jason,
is my favorite Robin.
that was what was funny is like back in the day when they did that, they did it all based on like votes, and people thought that Jason Todd was mostly a carbon copy of Dick Grayson, and he wasn't his own character, and
Right.
people hated it. So they were like, "Do we kill him, or do we, you know what I mean, keep him going?" And everybody voted to kill,
Kill
him.
him.
And I think you also got to vote like on how.
like
like,
that. Yo, that
Yeah.
the
I'm
whole
pretty
big-
sure
remember
everybody
that, yeah.
voted for him to be beat to death with a crowbar.
Yeah, and that was dirty.
It
You
is
know what I mean?
fucked up.
Do you know how he
So
got
no-
his job as Robin? Batman caught him trying to steal the hubcaps off the Batmobile,
Yo,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
right. Yeah, I've forgotten that. You're right.
which is why I liked him. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, he had
that-
the Batmobile up on blocks.
yeah. It's like this little kid's about to go over Batman.
I'd forgotten that. It was a good.
Yeah. So I mean that and I like that he turns like completely almost evil from that because
he did for a while.
He not only got fucked over by
The pit.
the Joker and all that, but like by the fans. Like
well,
so that's a real fucking villain story right there.
Right.
in the pit, giving you that bloodlust and making you want to kill the person that
Oh right.
killed
Plus
you.
that he was dead for a while,
Yeah.
and then that drove.
Yeah,
him
I think
crazy.
there was like a week time span in the comic where he got drugged from
Was
Saudi
it a week?
Arabia.
I thought it was longer than that.
It may have been, but I know his body went from Saudi Arabia to Nez Tibet, wherever Ra's al Ghul's League of
Right.
Assassins are for the pit. And I know there was a time gap there. I can't remember exactly how long, but yeah.
Yo, should we also mention how he took the Red Hood took over the Red Hood guys, but that was also the Joker's first. You know what I mean?
Yes,
thing.
it was.
I think more than just the Joker.
Oh yeah, there were a bunch. There's a whole
There's been a
group
bunch of
people,
Red Hoods.
Yeah. But the two most notable Red Hoods are Joker and Jason Todd.
But also, I forget which movie. Was it The Killing Joke? Where they cover that, like, he gets essentially duped into wearing the suit and, like, taking the fall.
That wasn't in the Killing Joke. I forgot which one that one was. That I think that was Under the Red Hood. I
Yeah.
believe.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But it was where they show that backstory, one of the backstories for the Joker, and it's where he's like a family man and like struggling, and he gets like tricked into like helping these dudes, and they like
Yeah.
they're like, oh, you just got to wear this
And then he
suit.
takes
That was
the fall.
the cover or part
Yeah.
of the Three Jokers.
Huh?
I think they covered that in the Three
Oh,
Jokers
maybe it
that
was
they
the
did.
Three Jokers. Yeah, one of them.
But then again, like I remember when they did that story though, but you didn't even know if that's the truth because they were saying he was such a pathological liar that
Oh, right.
that even he doesn't know if he, you know what I mean, if he believes, you know what I mean. If
Well,
that's the way it
in the
happened.
Three Joker thing, they all have their own backstory, and you don't even know which Joker's the real Joker.
Right? Yeah.
Like two of them are just guys that think they are, and they've been brainwashed into thinking that is like a cover for the real Joker. It's like, what? That's a great fucking story.
It
though.
was.
It-
Well, yeah,
great
which
read.
remind you of the whole Doom 2099 was a similar thing. Like, dude didn't know if he was the real Doom or not. You know what I mean?
Doom.
Doom, Doctor Doom. When they
Oh.
when they first did the
I
2099.
never did read the 2099.
Oh,
Doom.
that it was the best. Honestly,
I have the first two, but I don't have the full run. So
it was pretty deep. It was pretty off the hook, actually.
all that shit's good. Well, not all of it, but
There was some of
most-
that 2099 I didn't like.
I loved the X-Men 2099.
The X-Men, Spider-Man.
I have the entire run
So do
of
I.
X-Men 2000.
I like the Wolverine that they had throughout the entire 2099. Because
Wolverine?
he was the one that
No, that's
was that.
that's from Age of Apocalypse.
Oh, okay. He's
He's
one of my favorite Wolverines when he's running around without a hand.
Yeah.
But he's not Wolverine. He's just Weapon X. A
Yeah.
different guy has the code name Wolverine in Age of Apocalypse.
Oh. I still look at him. He's Wolverine to me.
But his code name in Age of Apocalypse was just Weapon X.
It's funny how we ended up on Marvel anyway. All right, so what do we think?
Yeah,
for
it is
thoughts?
funny
I know
because
we always go back.
It's fucked up.
Who do we want to hold on to? Now we know some people are already.
I want to hold on to
definitely
Peacemaker for sure. That was a great show.
I'd like to see Blue Beetle stay.
Those would probably be the two that.
Is
I
that
would-
part of the DCEU or is
Yes.
it
Yeah.
part of the
Yeah, it's part.
the
But
new shit?
they haven't started the new shit yet.
Yeah, I think everything. that
I
these
wouldn't
guys-
mind seeing that roll over just because that movie wasn't terrible. I liked it. I enjoyed
Well, I
it.
like Hyde.
And he's a young kid. I like the actor. So
And
I
that
would
could bring in the rest of the Titans too.
yeah, I wouldn't mind them rolling that over. Like I said, I would love to see more of the Suicide Squad shit, but I'm a Suicide Squad fanboy. I love all the comics and all that shit too, and I loved Peacemaker, so I want to see that roll over.
Actually, speaking of Suicide Squad, I'd like to see the chick that played the head. What's her name? Black chick.
Amanda Waller.
Yeah, I would like to see her stick on as Amanda.
Yeah, I've
Waller
liked
if
her
they
as
could.
Amanda Waller because Amanda Waller
died in that. Didn't she? Didn't they kill her?
No, they haven't killed him. You can't kill
thought-
Amanda Waller.
I thought they killed her in the new one. It's been a while since I watched it.
No,
I do remember I loved that movie with the Starro, and
Mhm.
which I thought they did a great job on Starro, by the way.
that whole movie was great to me. I thought it was fucking beautiful. But it's James Gunn.
See, that one was an 8 to me. You know what I mean? I still liked it, but I
Like I
thought,
said, I'm a big Suicide
Yeah,
Squad fan.
yeah,
so-
and I love James Gunn too, but I think he was riding a little bit too much on the comedy aspects from what was working with Guardians, and you know what I'm saying. I don't think it was definitely not bad. Like I said, I still
Dude, that
gave it
shit
an
was
8.
funny with the guy with the arms.
Yeah, there was a lot of
The-
funny shit to it. I just thought there was some of it they could have done without. I thought.
Wasn't
you know
that
what I mean?
Pedro Pascal?
Was it?
The guy with the where he like detached his arms and he goes to like send him
Oh,
after those dudes and he's just like
TDK.
he's just like slapping
Yeah,
them
yeah.
and they
Was
just
that him? I
and the-
forgot.
No, I don't think he played TDK.
that boy whose arms fall off or something like that. I can't remember who played him, but
I'll have to
remember,
watch that
remember
one
they
again.
shot his arms up and he's all,
Yeah.
"Oh!"
Yeah,
And
they called
they
it
just walk up and shoot
detachable,
him.
I think. Was
Oh
his
no,
true
that
name.
was Nathan Fillion that played
yeah.
TDK.
Okay, that's right.
That shit was funny.
Damn, I'd forgotten about that. I do need to go back and watch that one again.
Just the whole beginning when they're going on that mission and everybody,
Yeah, you lose like 20 members. of the
everybody
squad.
just gets fucked up right away.
I come to find out it's just a cover to get the other team in.
Mhm. Which is exactly what Amanda
and
Waller
then
would do.
dude that
Oh, yeah.
played Yondu, what's his name?
Mickey or Michael Rourke.
Yeah, no,
Not Mickey, but
fuck.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He
would
was
you
in
like
there.
a chocolate covered pretzel?
Remember, he was supposed to be this, like, they made him look like this badass, like, through the first 10 minutes, and then as soon as the shit goes down, he freaks out and runs.
Yeah,
I'm not even sure I knew who his character
Michael
was.
Roker.
Roker, that's right.
Yeah.
I've always liked him.
He
as
was
an
actually in Jumper too. Remember I told you I was going to watch that again because I hadn't
Yeah.
seen it in a while. He played the father in that. was
I
like,
wish
oh,
they'd
damn.
make a new one of that.
Jumper, man. Oof.
Jumper was the shit.
actor. That was
Yes,
a
it
good
was.
movie.
Yes, it
That's
was.
always been my favorite superpower. That's what I would pick.
Teleportation.
If I could pick a superpower 100%, I would teleport. And I would teleport like in Jumper, not like Nightcrawler.
Oh, well, you don't want to
'Cause he-
bamf?
Well, he can only go as far as he can see, or if
Someplace he's been
or if
before.
he's been there, which I guess is kind of like Jumper.
They could also they could see pictures.
Yeah,
too.
you can
They'd
look
have
at a
to-
picture
yeah.
and do it.
But they were jumping.
But
cars
I
and
would want
buildings.
to, I'd want to be able
And
to,
bank vaults.
Right.
I'd want to be able to just teleport wherever I want, like Goku can.
Almost like Azrael.
I'd like to have some type of energy projection. I don't care if it came out of my eyes or my hands, but that would be mine.
Like Havoc.
Bishop.
Yep. Yep.
What if it came out of your toes?
Oh no, we can't.
Because it's cursed powers.
Or
Great power.
or just
comes
out of
great
your ass, you got-
Responsibility.
out of your,
Oh no, not
out of your ass, you just got to be like,
oh.
oh.
Oh, no one would ever fight me. You know what I'm saying? Hell, even if it was my dick, no one would fight me. It'd be like, no, he's pulling out no genitalia for superpowers.
Yeah, you start pulling your pants off. Everybody's like, what the fuck? If you ever want to get out of a fight, just start taking your
Didn't
pants
that
off.
happen in The Boys somewhere?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it did.
Well, I think it happened in
what?
Doom Patrol as well. They had that one guy that had.
Well, the guy went inside the dude's dick and blew himself up.
Yeah,
Well,
that
there's-
was his lover. Oh,
There's yeah.
Yeah, he's in there like,
stop it. All right. Oh,
Or that Huey would transport and then he would lose his clothes
yeah,
when he's
yeah.
teleporting.
yeah.
So what if you teleport, but then wherever you were
Remember
roving,
Mystery
buck
Man?
naked?
Yes.
How fucking
The shuffler.
who was that? Keenan.
Kel. It was
Ke-
Kel.
And he was the invisible boy.
But you couldn't be looking.
Right. Right.
But he did pull it off at
And
the end of
he'd
the movie.
He'd just be getting naked.
Yeah, but he did pull. That was how the movie ended. Like, you know what I'm saying? He
Does
actually.
he actually go invisible?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's been a while. That's a great movie.
Yes, it
And
is.
fucking Ben Stiller, he's like the Hulk, but doesn't change. He just gets mad and throws a
And
tantrum.
then you got the
Yeah.
shoveler.
Yeah,
Oh man.
that's
Yo,
great.
there's so many of those people that were in that. You know what I'm saying? They were like B and C level actors. Fucking 10, 15, 20 years later, they
Well,
ended
you
up
had William
being
H.
A.
Macy in it. You know,
Yeah.
he was probably one of the bigger names out of that cast next to maybe Ben Stiller.
That was a great movie.
And the chick, the bowling
Yeah.
chick. Wow, what's
she
her
was
name?
in. She
Oh,
was
God,
in a lot
she's
of
so
shit
hot,
back in the
too.
day.
Yeah, she was in a couple of Kevin Smith movies too.
She was in Romy and Michelle. Remember? She
Yeah.
was like
Yeah, what the hell is her name?
Romy and Michelle. That movie's fucking funny too. Have you seen it?
Don't
Janine
think so.
Garofalo.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was.
She's fucking teacher hot. You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh, yeah.
librarian hot. You know what I mean?
She had a bowling ball with her dad's skull in it, and she would just like talk to it. Remember?
And she could throw, but it was
Yeah.
like alive still.
And it
And
would
she'd throw it. And
like Captain America's shield. It would just kind of, or like Mjolnir.
Yeah.
then you had the guy with the forks.
Oh right, I forgot about that.
Man, I hadn't seen that movie
Well,
in
and
years. man.
Paul Rubin was in that movie
Yeah.
as well.
Rest in peace, fucking Paul Rubin, aka Pee Wee Herman.
Oh
And-
right, yeah.
And in the DC universe, he was also known as Mr. Cobblepot.
Yeah.
He was the Penguin's father.
Was he?
Yes, he was. In
In
two
what?
different things. In the 1992 Batman Returns, he was Mr. Cobblepot. And then in, I believe it was Gotham, he
Reprised his role.
role as his father.
I'd forgotten about that actually.
Interesting. I don't. Fuck. I can't even. I don't remember that at all. He's probably in a ton of shit though.
Who? Paul Rubin?
No, or you're talking
Yeah.
about the Pee Wee Herman guy.
Yeah, that's Paul
Yeah.
Rubin.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's got a lot of movie credits to his name.
I was so glad he got a chance to finish that last Pee Wee Herman film for fucking Netflix before he died too. That was dope. All right, so who do we think would be? Because we know Henry Cavill's gone.
Which sucks. I liked him as Superman. I'm not a big Superman fan. I thought he did a good job.
I
Though.
thought he was a great one. Do you guys have somebody in mind, or do you think they should find a newbie, an unknown?
Yeah, your mic's not on.
I'd like to see Gail Gadot stay
As Wonder Woman?
as Wonder Woman.
I would too.
I'd be
but
okay with that.
I don't know. She's one of the ones I'm scared about. You know what I mean? Not coming back because we know Henry Cavill's definitely not. Well, we can't say definitely, but we know his contract's over. But we're still on the. You know what I'm saying? We haven't heard anything whether or not she. I would love to see her come back. You know what I mean? I thought she was the perfect embodiment. That woman is my favorite female actress. Period.
She's
like,
beautiful.
Well, that too. But I mean, beyond her beauty, like her resume. I don't think there's a man that can fuck with her resume. You know what I'm saying? She's been a model. She's been a singer. She was in the military in her country. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And she's like, she does Krav Maga. Like,
Yeah,
she's a real badass. And there's not a whole lot of pretty, model level pretty that can kick ass. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's what I strive to be as a man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, that's fucking unbelievable. So yeah, I would love to see her stay.
I'd be okay with Batfleck.
He's not. That's one of the things I'm the most upset about is that we didn't get a full fucking.
I am too. I wanted to see him because the little bits that we did see, I thought he did a great job.
Especially for that older Batman. I really wanted to see like the Dark Knight Returns, like the book, the comic book.
Yeah. Oh, that
like
would have
the
been
older and brought in the chick, Robin.
Carrie Kelly. I think,
Yeah, like I really wanted to see that, man.
that would have been so epic because that is one of my favorite, another one of my favorite Batman arcs,
Right.
which I have all 4 of those at home.
Ditto.
But yeah, just that old Batman, he's still, it's not old Batman like you see in Batman Beyond, which I'd still like to see that as well.
Right.
But yeah, I think that would have been great to see that style of, Frank Miller Batman.
50,
it was
60
Frank
year,
Miller, right?
Yeah, I think so. 50, 60-year-old Batman. You know what I mean? He's getting injured. He's got to have certain shit to help him out. You know, he's got like the electronic knee brace and shit. Yeah.
He's got that bathtub tank pretty much that he's got with him when he gets his ass kicked too much.
I really wanted to see that. So I'm still hurt about Batfleck. I really wanted to see that.
Yeah, I mean he was good Batman.
I know who I would like.
And Wonder Woman, she was great. And
That's what. Yeah.
Henry Cavill, he was great. It sucks that we're losing so many good people. I even thought the dude as Cyborg was good.
Yeah. Well, he definitely ain't coming back
No.
after the way fucking what's his name treated him.
What did he do? What happened?
That's why the Snyder Cut is so much different from the original. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like the original Justice League was supposed to have centered a lot around his character. You know what I mean? Because everything it's based. The Snyder Cut is very centric to fucking Cyborg, and the other one was completely different. Josh Whedon, I guess, the same shit he did with females, he also did with black folks too. So apparently, he was a real dickhead behind the scenes. And that one really hurt because you think about Avengers and even all the stuff he did before Avengers.
Firefly.
Yeah. But yeah, apparently he's a real fucking jack off in real life. You know what I mean?
Well, that sucks. I don't like people like that.
Yeah, he's one of the reasons that there wasn't a Black Widow movie until after he left, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
the MCU. So, yeah.
And I thought he did a good job with his first few movies that he was, but we can't have that kind of stuff going on. That's just wrong.
For real.
So,
But I know who I want as Flash.
Who's that?
I want Arrow versus Grant Gustin, I believe.
Well,
his
you know,
name.
Definitely ain't gonna happen.
You know that ain't gonna happen, man.
I
They-
thought
they-
he was a perfect Barry
he,
Allen.
He was, but it's same thing, you know what I'm saying, with the dude that played from Smallville. Like the chances of them grabbing them TV folks and bringing them over, like they're
Let's be honest. No matter what they do, they're just gonna, as soon as something fails, they're gonna abandon ship on this too.
I doubt
So
that.
I think we're getting a
I
little.
think they're learning from that.
I think we're getting a little too excited. I think
I think they
I think it'll last 5 years and they'll try.
Really?
They'll recast everyone again.
they spent a lot of money on James Gunn, and they're looking at him like the Great White Hope. So I don't think they'll give up on him that quickly.
3 movies
know.
in,
I don't know.
3
Yeah.
movies in, it starts
That's what
to.
I'm saying.
Well, if
It
they start
doesn't-
to yeah, I guess if they
That's what I'm saying.
But
dude.
his movies have done great at the box office. They've done great in home sales.
reviews, critic
You know-
reviews, they've done great.
Yeah, if you look at his success with all their past failures and successes with Snyder, Whedon, everybody else that they've used, I really think logically they're gonna stick with James because, here's 3 for 3 for you.
They need to get their merchandising in swing with everything else, like Disney.
There's one, like the one thing I've always noticed, the big swing, like
DC's animated is on point.
it always has.
It always
but I mean,
has been,
but
yeah.
like the trade has gone.
Which
off.
I don't get. I don't get it.
What?
Why are their animated movies so badass? And
Because you can do more with animation than you can live action.
okay, fair.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess, but that doesn't. I mean, the stories are amazing.
I think
It's
because
it's not just the visual; it's the stories are great.
but that's because all the animated ones are basically
Based
just the
on-
comic. They're just the moving version of the comic books.
Yeah.
So they don't have to worry about actors. You know what I'm
Not
saying?
not a huge fan of the Injustice
Yeah,
one.
the new one.
Yeah,
Yeah, that one was my
that
favorite.
one.
But
was-
everything
was
before
so-
that.
it's still decent, but
Yeah.
it's so far off of what Injustice actually was.
Mm-hmm.
It was way more brutal and, like, did you ever play the video games?
Yes.
All right, so the way this, you know how Superman just burned out fucking Shazam's eyeballs,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
like,
And that is why Bats has kryptonite, is because he fears Superman going rogue and,
We're not gonna get into that conversation either, because that one always fucking pisses me the fuck off. When somebody can move.
what was that movie where somebody
Doom.
took over his plans
it was Doom.
For
It
the-
was the
for
one
the-
that had the red batarang on the front of it,
for the Justice League?
Yeah.
Right, he had his contingencies for them all, and
which is smart.
you guys been watching Invincible?
I
Yes.
have not.
Yeah, missed the last couple, I think.
It's so good. It's so good.
I would agree.
I'm like, hurry up. I want more. But they're only doing the first
Half.
half of this season this year. And it's like,
It's the same thing with. Well, they're putting them out faster. So also, What If just started a couple days ago, and they're putting out a new one every day until the 30th. So
I've watched the first few.
I
It
watched the
wasn't.
first 2 episodes.
watch the first
The
one.
first one was me.
The Nebula one.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I liked it. I thought it was really
It
cool.
was pretty cool. I mean, I guess. But, and then what was the one with Happy Hogan?
I haven't made it that. I've only seen the first one.
It's
Yeah.
where he saves Christmas.
All right, hold up. Don't.
There's
come
a lot
on, man.
of. It's called Happy Hogan Saves Christmas.
Well, I hadn't seen it yet. I hadn't even
Literally
seen
the title. I'm not
All right.
breaking anything.
All
To you.
right.
It's a pretty good one. It was fun.
I love
A
Happy.
lot of Die Hard references in it. Like it's basically rehashing a Die Hard. It's fucking funny.
But I like the Happy Hogan.
What was the
character.
second one? Oh, that was the one where Peter Quill he
He's
Yon-
Ego's son, so yeah,
Yeah,
he's got his godlike powers.
right in that universe Yondu doesn't
Come and
keep him.
kidnap him. Yeah.
No, he does kidnap him, but he does take him to Ego
Okay.
instead of keeping him.
And he's connected.
And then, well, I guess I won't
Yeah,
spoil that.
Please,
but
thank you.
Without describing it, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
pretty good.
everything I said was in the,
That's a good one too.
yeah, that one's in the. That's all in the the,
I think
the
you'll-
description.
I think you'll enjoy that one. I think that was my favorite one so far. because you get a little glimpse of an alternate Avengers, and it's pretty dope. It's pretty dope, and some characters that we've seen and heard hints of in the MCU, but never like full on. So I guess you'll have to watch it and see what I mean. But yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it's pretty dope.
I plan on watching the rest of them tonight. That's my goal.
So here's a question for y'all: what DC characters that we haven't seen would you like to possibly see in this new universe that
If
they're
I
throwing
don't
out?
get a fucking Green Arrow, I'm gonna lose my shit. Like we haven't. Have we even seen a Green Arrow in the movies?
Outside of the Arrowverse, no.
And
That's a good one.
I love my archers. You know what I'm saying? I love my
Green
archers.
Arrow he's pretty decent.
I was gonna say Lobo,
I would love to see.
but I don't.
Lobo.
But
Well,
I don't want to see him fuck it up.
Well, I don't want to see them. I mean, they were talking. What's his fucking name?
Jason
Momoa.
Momoa, but
Yeah,
that's
Jason.
still a rumor. You know what I
Jason
mean?
Mimosa.
He's so tasty.
I would like to see Apocalypse
Ooh,
and his heralds and everything.
right.
Like some Big Bertha and
I even think the dude that voiced him in the new 52 cartoons could actually play him. You know? what I mean?
he could. I think so. That would be kind of dope.
Um,
There's
I
a
don't
lot
know
of.
a lot of DC characters. I'm trying to think of some.
I'm just kind of over DC. I really kind of don't care at this point. Just
I'd like to see
just stick to something. How about that?
I'd like to see a fucking John, the Green Lantern, the Black
Oh.
Green Lantern.
Yes, John Stewart.
Yeah, I'd like to see him, especially since by the way, I rewatched the Green Lantern again. Just you know what I mean. That movie gets so much shit that it does not deserve.
It was an okay movie. I give it. I liked a lot of the storytelling in it. It was just some of the special effects that.
I think him and I were talking about this. Like when you think about the power set of a Green Lantern.
Oh, it's
And
one
his
of my favorite.
costume is made, you know what I mean, with the energy from the ring. That's probably what his suit would look like if it was real. You know what I mean? Get him out of like everything's not going to be these spandex superheroes that we're used to seeing, like even since Christopher Reeves. You know
But
what I
see,
mean?
my favorite Green Lantern is Guy Gardner. He had the leather jacket going on for him. He changed it up from the typical GL outfit because I've always liked the Lantern Corps. I think the Lantern Corps was really awesome. And yeah, the fact that there's so many of them.
Oh yeah, for each sector.
Yeah. But yeah, no, John Stewart and Guy Gardner are two of my favorite Lanterns. There's a couple reasons why I like John Stewart's Green Lantern. He's a Marine, but he portrayed a different type of lantern than what we had with Hal Jordan. Hal Jordan was kind of a Boy Scout. I'm gonna do what I want and go a little rogue here and there and get away with it because I'm the first Earth Lantern. But Stewart, he was about the mission. He was about his comrades. He'll fight you if he got to, but he tried to be smart about it. And then Guy Gardner, he took on Doomsday by himself and got the shit kicked out of him. But
But he was brave enough to do it.
yeah,
Yeah, I would love to see. It's time for a new Green Lantern,
yes.
and I think we need to see Green Arrow. You know what I'm saying? There's with everything that they've done, the comparisons to the DC and the MCU. You know what I mean? There's a lot of their characters that are the same, and I think by now the fans can tell most of them apart. That we can do this without there being that overlapping. You know what I mean?
yeah.
In my opinion.
Well, and unlike Green Arrow, unlike his counterpart in the MCU, Hawkeye, he's a billionaire. Oliver Queen has got money. He's like Batman. He's
He's
rich.
Batman with arrows.
Yeah, he gets to buy his tech. He didn't have. He was smart enough. He created his tech. Hawkeye used a lot of PIM tech. Other tech that he could get his hands on, Stark Tech, stuff from Shield.
Mm-hmm.
He was just a phenomenal archer. Now, Oliver Queen was a phenomenal archer, and he was a billionaire, and he was a genius. So, he's got some attributes to him that set him apart.
Separate them.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the color scheme.
Obviously, yeah. I agree with that, 100%.
I think Nightwing would be good too.
Oh,
That was the best version of Dick Grayson ever. Because
well, yeah, because he came into his own.
I didn't like him as Robin.
Now that would be the next thing. So would we have to go through that whole I think if they do this, they don't need to do we don't need to like what they did with Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying?
We don't need to
we don't need to
re-see it.
see all the fucking origin stories again. You know what I mean? So we could maybe start with him as Nightwing, you know what I mean? Don't even have to see him go through the Robin aspect. I think that would be a really smart thing for them to do, honestly.
Just start in the middle,
Mhm.
jump into.
And you could use little flashbacks to
Yeah, if need be.
tell
But yeah.
backstory. But yeah, most everybody knows that Dick Grayson was Robin.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
so,
that was a good one. That was a really good one. Honestly, I think that's why Titans worked, is because it started off that way. You know what
Well,
I mean?
and I liked how I liked what they did with that and Dick his character. Yeah, he still wore the Robin suit for a little bit, but you had Jason Todd in there as his Robin, but you had the other Titans.
Well, not to mention that show started off with him being pretty much pissed at Batman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he was trying to remove himself completely from him.
And he does that
completely.
in the comics as well. And that's
Yeah.
when he moves to Bloodhaven. Is that how you pronounce that?
Mhm.
Which, no worries.
Oh, you're good. He unplugged for a second. But yeah, I really like that one. I'd love to see Nightwing done right on the big screen. Because I was actually looking forward to, what was the old boy's name that was going to do it? Had they not stopped with the Dark Knight trilogy?
Oh,
He
crap.
was the old man in the young guy's body in Third Rock from the Sun.
Yeah.
What's his name? Fuck.
I just lost it. I just saw him in a movie with
Yeah, no, you can see it's
in a Christmas movie here just recently.
Third Rock would be the easiest way for me to find him.
He was Don
not
Juan.
the guy that almost was at the Wyoming PopCon. Not him.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yes, that would be.
How did I forget his name? I think he would have been a really good one at that time. I think he's too old to do it now, but
I think he would have been a good Tim Drake as well.
he was. Wait a minute, which one was he?
His name was Tim in the show, but I think they were trying to push him more. I'm not quite sure where they were going to.
Because it was at the end that they used his name. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because through the whole thing, we had no idea that that's who that was supposed to be. He was just a cop that, you know what I mean? And then that was like one of those Easter eggs at the end. You were like, oh, that's where they're going with this.
Yeah, because Tim Drake did actually, go out and figure out, he studied it to figure out who Batman was. Same with Carrie Kelly. She deduced it just by placing Bruce Wayne and Batman in different places and was able to figure it out based on height and everything else.
That was something they did with in the Arrowverse, where they had the younger girl that plays fucking Waller was like, yeah, we always knew who he was. But you know what I'm saying? That shouldn't be that big of a hard thing to figure out.
Yeah,
You know what I
true.
mean? Like, that was one of the things they did the New 52 that was kind of funny. It was like, yeah, anybody that's anybody knows that Bruce is fucking Batman.
Yeah, and
know
if
what I
you
mean?
don't, you're just
Yeah. You don't have to be the greatest detective in the world to figure that out.
no.
You got a rich motherfucker driving around with shit he shouldn't be able to afford and basically fighting crime in one city. Yeah.
Yeah,
We got him. We figured that out.
it's okay, Mr. Wayne. You pay for everything.
Yeah,
So
Shit, I can't think anybody else, though, for them to start off. But do you think they should do individual films, or should they start off like with a Justice League?
That's tough.
I think that'd be a mistake.
Why? Because we haven't
because-
seen it?
No, because of just like the way shit went down with older superhero movies when they try to pack too many characters in at once, especially new ones. Here, give me a second. My phone's ringing here.
I think they should introduce a few characters. I think they should centralize along one specific plot, one theme that's ideally one, maybe two characters. And then they can probably roll in another 3 superheroes, or at least plant the seeds, if not even more, just by name or in the background. Just like they do with Marvel and everything else.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. Maybe it'd be because that's what they did with Marvel. You
they
know what I
were
mean?
Individual.
Yeah, we got like maybe since because like I said, at this point, everyone knows, even if you're not a big comic book fan, you know the major ones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe try something different. Don't do what the MCU is doing. Start off with and it doesn't have to be like a big ensemble, but maybe like 5 characters. You know what I mean?
The original 7.
I don't know. I just think maybe trying something new at this point instead of definitely. And I could be wrong. This is just my opinion.
Who's James Gunn is doing the new one, or
Yeah.
who's? So maybe in his success, pick something that's not as super fan favorite.
That's a good, because there are a lot of DC characters that, you know what I'm saying, that aren't the well known ones, and pull another guard. That's
Just
a
like
good one.
I mean, because he was with Suicide Squad too, right?
He did
So-
the last Suicide Squad, not the first one.
So kind of that same kind of eccentric, kind of style, and something that he has the creative freedom to kind of do a little bit more of what he wants.
Because he did pull from different teams to make his team on both that and Guardians. Because, we did eventually, throughout all 3 movies, get to see the entire original
but
Guardians.
It took a while.
Yeah. Because we got to finally see Adam Warlock. But I liked how he did the Guardians. I think if they had used the original Guardians team, I don't think it would have worked.
It wouldn't have worked.
Yeah.
But yeah, and one of the things with the Suicide Squad, he's got a whole lot of characters, little known characters. He could just run with.
That
Suicide
rogue gallery
Squads
is so huge.
Yeah, he could do that for fucking ever.
I mean, he already killed Captain Boomerang, which sucks because I like Captain Boomerang. I
So
thought he
did
was
I.
kind of cool.
And I thought the dude that did that, actually, he was one of the bigger names, though. You know what I'm saying? Next to Idris Elba, that was in, and of course John Cena being Peacemaker. But the dude, that kid was in a lot of shit because he was in the last Die Hard film. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
He was in a Terminator film. Like he was in a bunch of really big franchises there, like back to back to back over a 5-10 year period. So, yeah. And he's really Australian, so he fit the, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it worked perfectly. But I do agree that they should also probably maybe focus a little bit on Amanda Waller, not just with her Suicide Task Force X program, but the fact that she had her fingers dipped into
A lot of shit.
everything. She knew more, I think, than any other DC character out there.
Next to Lex.
Yeah, I think between her and Lex, those two could take over the world if planned right.
She's a real evil bitch.
Oh, she is.
And that evil. It's for America.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's all for America.
She is definitely, but she's got a reason for it.
Yes, and
It's not like
Not
Lex.
real
just
cold
wants-
blooded then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely cold blooded.
she does a lot of the wrong things for the right reasons,
Booyah.
and some of she has no moral values, she has no conscience, and she will do what needs to be done to succeed in protecting America and anything else that her government deems necessary, because she is definitely by the book.
Word. What you missed, man? I said that maybe they should do a team movie first, instead of fledging out individual characters, because we know it works because they did it that way for the MCU, but maybe try something different. I'm open for trying shit different, especially since a lot of people, like you guys have said, a lot of folks might be getting burned out. So maybe try something new and see what happens.
Well, and look at the success he had with Suicide Squad. That was a team movie. He was able to have
Guardians.
Guardians too. Yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Maybe a team, maybe a Justice League movie right out the gate would be a decent one. Because he wants to see another Superman origin film.
That's something else we
Yeah.
said.
Who wants-
We don't need.
Who wants
any more
another
origin.
Batman origin? Who wants another Flash? Or who wants any of that?
But I think that was one of the good things that came about of Spider-Man, because you know what I mean. When they first did that, we're like, oh, we're not going to see Uncle Ben die, and then it came to the point like we don't need to see it again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So at this point in time, the lore has lived itself, where you don't have to start over just because you're starting over with new actors and actresses. So
Bizarro League.
Ooh, that would be cool.
if they're gonna do
Crime
Bizarro,
Syndicate.
I love crime. If they're going to do Bizarro, I want to see. This is what would really make me happy. Whoever they get to play Superman also play Bizarro.
Yeah, just like they did in Lois and Clark.
Yeah.
Or not Lois, or whatever this newest Superman run that they've had out.
The one that's on Max right
Yeah.
now. Yeah, I haven't seen them all, so that's dope that they did that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they do a bizarro scenario, and they have him play both roles, and he did a great job.
Word.
And I think he could be another Superman instead of Henry Cavill.
They're not going to use anybody from TV, though. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, but I think he was supposed to be in one of the movies, wasn't he?
It was rumored. He was on the short list. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was the short list had like 10 people on it. But yeah, you are right. That show's coming to an end, too, after this season.
Ooh. Yeah, I've only seen the first 2 seasons. I haven't seen anything past the second season.
Yeah, 2, 3 might be 3 or 4 might be the last one. It's almost done. I saw that last week.
So I was just looking at the list of movies from the DC, and there's DCEU, and there's something that stood out to me. The movies that I liked the best could stand alone without anything else.
So Joker.
So like Wonder Woman.
Oh.
The first Aquaman.
Right.
I think, I liked Man of Steel. And so they didn't need anything else, and they could stand by themselves. So I just thought that was interesting, as they're trying to make everything connect, but nothing is ever connecting.
Right.
To stop trying to get it to connect. Maybe that's the trick of not, you were saying, not being like Marvel. Stop trying to make them all connect.
And
just
honestly,
focus on making a good fucking movie.
because you know what? That's honestly where DC shines best anyway. You know what I mean? When you think about some of those really, really good Batman stories, particularly, you know what I mean? They all take place in what would potentially be a different universe than the main line. So
I think that's the success of Peacemaker. I'm not even drinking.
yeah, right. Yeah, right. Same. Yeah, you're right. I think when we were talking, that was one that should have popped up on my list of great films that had what I think was a bad ending. I really liked Man of Steel, and I forgot how much I liked it until I watched it again. I think I was so marred by the fact that he killed fucking.
I haven't seen it in a
Zod.
minute.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It was like, oh man, you can't have Superman killing somebody in his first movie. You know what I mean? Like that wouldn't hurt. You know what I mean? I think that marred my vision of that film because I think it was very well written, very well acted, but the ending again, you know what I'm saying? Showing Superman kill somebody, that'd be like, I think I could ride with Batman killing somebody more than I could with Superman happening.
When they first put that out, Man of Steel, I didn't think it was going to be the Superman movie we got. I thought we were getting John
Steel.
Henry. Yeah, because
John Henry.
he was
Black guy in armor.
Yeah, who?
Oh, Steel.
Yeah.
After
the-
Doomsday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
After
but
the-
his
Remember
actual
Shaq
comic line was
making
Man
that?
of Steel.
They did the Steel movie back in the day.
Yeah,
It was so cheap. And I loved it as a kid.
Yeah,
I thought it was
But
great.
yeah, that's one of those ones that doesn't stand the test of time.
it's so bad.
Yeah, you go back and watch that one. It's like, oh,
Can we have Shazam with
Sinbad, a
Sinbad.
real one, since that didn't actually
instead
happen.
of Steel? Because I watched both of them and I love both of them, but I still think Shazam happened. I don't care what anybody says. That movie happened. I watched it. I seen it.
Mandela effect.
Ooh, that's a show in itself.
Actually, that would be. I would like to see like all of the fucking Death of like that'd be a really good one. to
Death of
start-
Superman.
Yes, start
I was
off with
just
the
thinking
Death
about
of
that a minute
Superman,
ago.
and then having the 4. That'd actually be dope. I'd like to see that. They did that in the animated one, and it was pretty good.
Yeah. And I think they could do that live action, except who would they get to play Doomsday?
What are some other really good DC storylines? We always go Flashpoint. They just kind of did that.
Well, you
yeah,
got
they did
Death
that.
in the Family. You got Hush.
So non-Batman, because we got to figure whatever's going to be is not going to be Batman.
Well,
There
I'm
might
getting
be
there.
the character, but
Well, like you
There-
got Crisis on Infinite Earths, which is
That'd be hard to start with.
true.
and they kind of did that in the Flash, the CW.
Yeah, they did that in the Arrowverse, but I mean, they're
Which still, I think, as far as a complete universe, the CW takes it.
Oh yeah.
Next to the, I haven't seen enough of the cartoons to make a judgment, but as far as a connective universe, they nailed it.
They did. Yeah, they actually did a great job with, especially with pulling in old actors from previous things. But I will, as far as the most complete run DC wise, when they did the New 52, that lasted about 10 years. They kept the same voice actors, you know what I mean? And they ran all the way through, and it started with the New 52, and it ended with Flashpoint and Flashpoint ending, and that's where I have every single one of them. I think those were flawless. They were like rated R, so you know what I mean. Kids can watch them, but you know you still got that.
Let them watch at their
adult-
own risk.
Yeah, you got the adult quality. You know what I mean?
Well, you get that part when he's like, you know, when Reverse Flash tells him that he jerked him off the first time that he was with a girl, and it was. Just
Oh
like,
well, that was the meme. They didn't.
oh no, that
it's
was.
not from the comics.
I think that was in that particular movie when he gets as the bullets coming through his head.
I'd have to go back and rewatch it.
With the meme where he's like, "That was me, Barry. You
Yeah.
thought you came at a woman's touch, but I really beat you off at super speed."
Yeah, I don't think that was in the
that
film.
wasn't in the comics.
The words may not be, but that particular meetup that they use that meme off of is.
Oh
and,
right, yeah.
And I can't think of what they.
Yeah, it had something to do with his parents.
Yeah, and that was the only way I.
Yeah, they had to do with the death of his mother. I think
Yeah.
that's where that came from. Yeah, the wording was messed up.
Yes,
but that's what that came from.
That
yeah.
meme was the only thing I could use to.
All right, we're on the same page now.
Yes. But no, I really liked how they did those, you know, with that, and yeah, their anime has always been on point there. I wish Marvel could get on cue with their anime like DC has.
With their animation period, yeah,
Well, some of their movies are good,
but they haven't made.
but it's not on the same level as DC,
and they haven't made as many.
No,
which is funny. Like you get, it's like switched.
Yeah, their live action, boom, boom, boom. Their animation,
Right.
but I think with their animation, they're aiming at a different audience. Like that's that Disney
A
shit.
lot of people would say their current live action though is meh. Most of it. You have your standouts that are great. But it is not the MCU of the past.
well, and I think DC is starting to come into its, starting their live.
Well,
action starting to-
we'll see.
Well, yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
they're starting over.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying with the last couple things that I've seen, like with Blue Beetle, Flash, those ones weren't as bad as some of the other ones that they've done.
I didn't think
Um,
Flash was all that great.
I-
Personally,
Like I said, I liked it. I liked
with a $2 million budget and the CGA looks like that
More, you mean 200 million?
or whatever.
Yeah, 2 million is nothing.
No,
in
I
a
said
movie.
two, I said 200.
You said 2.
I said 200.
You thought 2. You said. I think you said 2.
Okay.
I mean, I liked it. Seeing Michael Keaton dress up, in the bat suit again. I don't care if the rest of the movie was crap. That made that movie for me, and I, will watch it again just to watch, my childhood Batman back on the big screen.
I liked the whole Supergirl part for damn sure.
because she was hot.
Like,
She was a very hot.
well, not.
Actually, I think she's staying too.
I think she was badass too, though.
I think she's staying because what I
She
saw
was.
on, I don't, I haven't double checked to see if they backed out of it, but she'd already they greenlit her film, so hopefully that one holds on too.
Well, I liked her not just because she's hot, but she is. But I think she's something about her. She seems like legit badass,
And she's what I've been saying. She's a fairly new actress. You know what I mean? So she gets to make her way off this one, just like how Tom Holland made his way with Spider-Man. Like, I think there needs to give some of these new actors a
give
chance
some new
at
blood.
at these roles and let them make it theirs. And I think there's a lot that can be said with that instead of finding these veteran actors and actresses to do that shit. Which I'm not saying don't, but
Yeah,
mix it up, yo.
give everybody some love.
Yeah. We were just talking. What was it, yesterday, Bill? I don't know, day before yesterday. About Tom Holland possibly stepping down.
Oh, that was
And it's like that sucks because we're just starting to get into the real good shit as far as like getting the Spider-Man we all know, the adult Spider-Man working at the Bugle and living in the shitty apartment, and like I feel like we're just finally getting into the
adult.
best part, and he wants to quit. Like,
Well, he's already done like 9 movies. I mean, I see why.
What are you gonna do that's better? You're not gonna go do better things. My guy.
You don't know. You
You've
don't
got
know
to
that.
say at his age, he has to say he doesn't want to, so they offer him more money.
That
There
too.
you go.
But I honestly,
Maybe that's what I'm hoping.
yeah, because I would like to see him at least do another one or two.
Yeah.
But I do understand that. You know what I mean? You don't want to get like, especially right now at this age of his career, if he stays on it, that
Nope.
could pigeonhole him where he
I
may
think
not.
He already
make it.
is.
I don't think so. He's
What else has he done? He hasn't done
anything that
no.
anybody
He's
really
done,
cares
yes,
about.
yeah. Like for one, the
Uncharted was great.
Uncharted.
That's
did-
the only one that I can think of.
but
But
the one that was on Netflix,
The
where he
one on
played
Apple TV.
he's played some very different roles
Yeah,
that
but
shows his actual skill. And
I think he's a phenomenal actor.
yeah, like I said, we all us nerds would love to see him do another at least one or two Spider-Man.
Yeah, that would
movies.
be.
But
would love
I
it.
also understand if it's not.
Onward,
Yeah. Wait a minute. That was the
Disney,
animated one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Dr. Doolittle.
I just understand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
'Cause when you think about like, even if you
You'll
think
get
about my favorite,
typecast in
like Tom Cruise, you know what I'm saying? This motherfucker didn't just do Top Gun. You know what I'm saying?